What's up everyone, Danny Lennon back with another War Robots video. So there's some things you guys need to know about going on in the game, and it has to do with hackers impersonating YouTubers and impersonating clans to try and make you think it's a YouTuber or a certain clan hacking when it's actually just a group of guys impersonating them, trying to make them look bad. While I discuss this, I got a fun hangar set up. We're going to go do some gameplay with these old school tanks. They all have a big drone and blast shotguns. But we need to talk about what's going on with the hackers and why this is not okay. Now, if you see a YouTuber hacking or a certain clan hacking, I would definitely look at the IDs, look at the clan, try and make sure it's actually them before you get mad at that YouTuber or that clan. So this is my message to the hackers that are doing this type of stuff. So you guys claim you're fighting against pay to win, you're fighting against Pixonic. Doing something wrong does not fix something you don't like. You may not like the paid players. I mean, personally, I don't like going up against somebody who has a hangar of 5 Raptors. That's not fair. That's not cool, but people do it, right? But doing something wrong, hacking and pretending to be other people isn't fixing that. Those paid players are going to keep paying money, but what you are doing is you're hurting the free players who are just out there trying to have a good time. You're ruining their games. They're leaving games. They're getting put down on low priority. You're not only hurting the free guys, but you're hurting everybody. I mean, you're not only hurting the paid guys, but you're hurting everybody. You're ruining people's days. Like, you're doing something wrong. A lot of people support this, but it's not fixing anything. It's not solving any problems. It's just taking fun away from people or ruining their day or making the game worse. It's not fixing anything. And when you're impersonating another YouTuber, especially if that YouTuber has a channel that's earning money and you're out there making them look bad, I'm pretty sure there's some legal actions these YouTubers could take if they report you to the right place. I mean, I don't know if you guys that are hacking have YouTube channels or this or that, but if somebody could find out, you know, who you were, if they reported you to YouTube, I mean, YouTube can investigate that, and you guys could get in a lot of trouble, like a lot of trouble for impersonating other people, making them look bad. I'm pretty sure this is like a form of what you would call slander. And yeah, you know, if you're going to hack, that's one thing, but impersonating other people is completely different. That's not okay. That's not okay. You could get in a lot of legal trouble for doing this. So my suggestion is, if you're going to hack the game, just use your own names, make up your own names. Don't pretend to be Meta Militia. Don't pretend to be these YouTubers. I mean, yesterday I uploaded a video about hackers, and everybody's like, hey, these are content creators. These guys are in the creators program. And I'm like, okay. And I thought it was Meta Militia. I'm like, you know, we've been suspecting some of these Meta Militia guys for a long time of hacking, and maybe we just been running into these guys that do hack and are impersonating them. Maybe that's why we thought that. I don't know. But, you know, it's just, it's not right. You're not fixing anything. You're not making anything better for anybody. You're just kind of trying to find some excuse to say it's fine for me to hack. And you're just justifying it by giving some dumb reason that doesn't actually matter or doesn't actually work, just so you can hack and say, look at me, I'm doing something good. No, you're ruining people's fun. You're hurting the game. All right, so maybe it does hurt Pixonic a little bit, but basically you're just taking fun away from other people. You're cheating to get an advantage over other players. You're cheating to do well, because my guess is you guys have no skills. I understand that you don't like pay to win, right? Like I said, I don't like going up against a hangar where somebody drops in 5 of the best Metabot and the best Titan, and all 5 or 6 players that are on the team all drop that same Titan at the same time, and they just come through and they steamroll you. Those games suck, right? Those games suck. Going against those free-to-play players, I mean those pay-to-win players, yeah, it sucks, you know? Like me personally, I've got a great hangar, but I'm not going to run 5 Raptors in the hangar. I'm never going to do that. Why? Because personally, I don't think it's fair. It's not fair to do that to other people. I mean, some people are like, hey man, the pay to win is just as bad as hacking, and I can kind of understand where you're coming from on that, but spending money on a game, pretty much all these games, I don't care if it's a mobile game or this or this or that, people are buying things on it, people are spending money on it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, look at a professional boxer. You know what? You know how much Mike Tyson spends for trainers and boxing practice and this and this and this to become the best? Millions. He spends probably millions of dollars, right? It's not like he just walked into a boxing ring and started beating people up. I mean, maybe he did. I don't know. But bottom line is, any sports team, any professional that's on top of their game spends lots of money, lots of time, practice, 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 training, 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 coaches, coaches, coaches. You know, he probably has a $3,000 set of freaking boxing gloves. I mean, I don't even know if boxing gloves cost that much, but maybe that's a bad example, but it kind of is kind of the same thing, right? People who want to get up onto the top have to put money into the things. They gotta practice. They gotta learn the skills. I mean, I can destroy somebody with a Raptor with one of my free-to-win play robots. I can play in here. This is all free-to-play stuff, right? They are beak drones. I think that's an easy drone to get these days, if I remember correctly. I mean, we got blast shotguns. You can build them in the workshop. We got everything. I can outplay some of these guys. Now, when I go up against one of these highly skilled players that's got nothing but the best of the best, yeah, they get the best of me. They take me out, right? This hangar cannot compete against, you know, really, really, really skilled players that have nothing but Raptors and stuff like that. But I can go into these games like this, play solo, and have a really good time. I mean, most of the games, I would say 7 out of 10 games are good for me when I play these old school hangars. You know, I might have 2, 3, 4, 5 games here and there that we just get walked all over or obliterated, but that's mainly because my team didn't do well. It wasn't really that I didn't do well or my hangar didn't do well. It takes a whole team to do well on this game, and you know, if your whole team's not on point and doing what they're supposed to be, you could be the best player in the world and have the best stuff, and you're probably going to lose. Alright, so right there we had 7 million damage, 9 kills. I mean, look, 9 kills with that old school hangar. Let's go play another one. Let's go play another game. And, yeah, we'll go play one more. And we continue to talk about this. Now, I don't know if you guys who are hacking think you're part of some sort of solution, or if you guys think you're doing something good, but you're really not. You're just messing up games for other players. You're hurting the free-to-play people or the cheap-to-play people who are just trying to have a good time in life. They're trying to come home from work. They bust their ass at some horrible job all day long. They come home. They sit down, they try and relax, play a little robots, or do a little bit of this or a little bit of that, and you're taking that fun and relaxation away from those guys and just pissing everybody off. You got to think about that. There's a lot more going on than just, hey, I'm fighting these pay-to-win guys with my hacks, right? You're not just fighting the pay-to-win guys. I mean, I can almost understand where some of you guys' mentalities are coming from, but if you were only fighting the paid players, it would make a little more sense, but you're not. You're fighting everybody, including the free guys, the brand new players who barely even still know how to play the game, that somehow got matched up in the higher leagues, and they're just being obliterated. They're leaving the game. They're getting put down there in LPQ where it takes them 15 minutes to find a freaking game. I mean, you're hurting everybody. That's the problem with this, is you guys are hurting everybody. You're not just going against these people you think you're targeting. You're playing against everybody. It's just not right. It is not right to do this, right? You got to think about this. And I know I see a lot of people are supporting the hacking and saying, well, it's pay to win. It's pay to win. Pretty much any game. You got to remember one thing about games is games are a business. All right, these games are a business. It costs them thousands and thousands and thousands. I don't even know how many thousands or hundreds of $1,000s a month to keep these giant server rooms running just so this game can exist. They have to make money or this game would not exist. If you enjoy the game, great. If not, go find something else to play. If this game pisses you off that much that you have to hack and do this, just go play another game. Like, why ruin everybody's day? Find another game and go play that. Stop playing War Robots if you hate it so much. Think about that. There's all kinds of games out there. I mean, me personally, I love War Robots. I mean, there's nothing out there like it. And you know, I hope this game lasts for another 10 years, another 20 years, another 300 years. I mean, heck, 300 years, we're probably going to have, like, instead of phones, we're going to have a little box that makes a hologram in front of us, and we're going to be, like, pushing buttons on our hologram to play these games instead. And these robots are going to look like they're really right in front of our face, or I don't know. Who knows what we're going to have in 300 years? I won't be here, unfortunately, to see it. Heck, maybe we'll, alright, whatever. I'm not going to get into what's going to happen in 300 years because I am not a time traveler, and I have no dang idea about anything from 300 years from now. But, anyways, my Fenrir got a triple kill. That was pretty good. We got the old blast shotguns. These are still some of my favorite weapons. So enough about that. Let's start talking about this old school hangar I'm playing and how it's actually performing. So this isn't what it used to be, right? I have some really good games with this old school hangar. I have some bad games here and there. And then we've got the decent games. Most games are what I would call decent. So I just gotta really be careful. I mean, I used to be able to take my Fenrir into a group of like 20 people and they couldn't kill it. Nowadays, the weapons are so powerful, they blow you up really fast. I mean, even those old school Titan weapons will just knock you down like you're nothing. So even with these old school tanks, you gotta play them very carefully. If you're gonna brawl, you gotta pick your battles carefully. You don't want, like, I'm a very aggressive player. I like to get up there and in your face and fight. That's why you see me running Raptors and Curries and stuff like that, because those are the robots that can still get up in your face and, you know, have a chance to survive against 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people. I mean, I like to run into a group of 5 guys and take them on. I don't like to fight just one-on-one. I don't like to use cover. I like to get in there and just brawl and get right down to it. That's fun for me. I like something that's really, really durable. Now, I will agree Raptor is a little bit too much. I think the Raptor he's way too durable. That robot becomes almost unkillable. It's like fighting a mini Titan. Sometimes I think he might be stronger than a Titan, and that Raptor is just 100% crazy. Crazy nutso. And I don't like it. So, I mean, I do like it, but I don't think it should be quite as powerful as it is. I think it's a wonderful robot. I love it. But it should probably die just a little bit easier because, yeah, it's just too strong. You know, my Luchador probably isn't as strong as my Raptor, which is crazy. But what I do like about it is I can go in there and just brawl against 5 dudes and at least have a chance to win. But if you notice, even when I do play my Raptor, a lot of the times I don't put the healing weapons on it. I throw some older stuff on there, or just some stuff that I like, because I think once you get a Raptor with all the healing weapons and everything else, that Raptor becomes way too strong. Therefore, I choose not to run the healing weapons on the Raptor that often, because I think it just makes it a little bit too over the top. So I try and set up hangars that I find fun, that I enjoy playing. I know they're going to do well with, but I try not to set things up to be like crazy overpowered, because, you know, it's not really fair, because I know I'm going to be going against free players. I'm going to be going against cheap players. So I try and set up really strong hangars, but I try and make so they're not as overpowered. If you notice, you might see me playing like 2 or 3 Metabots, or I might have like 2 Metabots and 3 old school bots. I do play a lot of old school bots all the time, because I like to kind of have a mix of old, new, super strong, and good, because I know I'm not always going up against just the paid guys, right? If I was always going up against the paid guys, yeah, I might actually go ahead and just run 5 Raptors if I had them, right? But since I'm not always going up against the paid guys, I'm not going to run 5 Raptors in my hangar. I'm going to try and make it a nice, strong, yet more balanced hangar most of the time, or just play robots that I like. Now, if a team works well together, you don't really have to have the newest stuff, right? You don't have to have the newest stuff. And this game is coming down to the wire here, but it definitely helps. I mean, if you can get like a Curry or 2, yeah, throw those in your hangar. But if not, you know, build up an Invader, build up a Raptor, build up a Skyros, build up a Phantom. I mean, these are all really good old school bots. Like the hangar I'm playing right now, these are probably some of the best old school tanks. I mean, if you want some damage dealers, you can always look into getting something like a Harpy or a Siren. You can also build those in the workshop. What else is in? There's a Typhon. Typhon's a little bit squishy these days, but Typhon is a very hard-hitting robot from a distance. You know, if you play him right and you can keep your distance, he can beat the crap out of people from long range. But a lot of people will rush it and come in there and try and kill it. I mean, you can build a Demeter. Demeter is an awesome... Well, actually, right now there's a big shield breaker meta going on, so Demeter may not be one of your best bets. Right now, I feel like any robot with a shield, if that robot relies on that shield, there's so many people running shield breakers right now, that may not 100% be your best bet to run because, well, you know, if your shield goes down, that robot's probably going to die. I mean, some of these robots 100% rely on that shield, and if you take that shield away, that's pretty much it. That shield's gone, and your robot just dies because they kill you right through it. That's one of the reasons you don't see me playing some of my favorite robots right now, like the Hades, is because, well, you know, I actually made a Hades video, and then they made the Unstable Conduit module cheap to use shortly after. Now it's only like a couple of power cells compared to it was 200, and that thing gives you a shield breaker. Now the Raptor with the drone gives you a shield breaker, and that makes my Hades almost unusable. That makes the Demeter really hard to play. That's even making the Dagon hard to play because people are able just to kill you right through the shield now. So when there's not a... You kind of got to choose your robots according to what people are running. And when shield breaker is really popular, you really don't want to be running robots all the time that have, you know, energy shields, because did you guys see how close that game was? We lost by like that much. We lost by like that much. But on my channel, I'm not here to look like the greatest player. I try to be helpful. I try to find builds and things that can help people out. I mean, I try and do a lot of builds on stuff I think people can easily get. And if there's items in that on my build that you can't get, I will recommend other ones that I think are the next best thing. That way, if you can't get my exact build, you should be able to get something very similar that should work well for you. But anyways, that time we got 7 kills and 8 million damage. Not too bad. Let's go play one more game. But I'm not here to only show you the games where we win. I'm not here to only show you the games where we lose. I don't care. I'm not the world's best player, right? I'm a good player. I am probably not one of the best players in the world. I'm good at the game. I would give myself about an 8 out of a 10. But there's a lot of guys out there that are 9s or 10s that can probably beat the crap out of me. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to show you like the best game footage. Sometimes I choose not to show you. Like if I have one of those really good games with something, I often choose not to show you guys that game because that was not a realistic game. That was like that 1 out of every 20 or 1 out of every 10 games that just goes perfect. You're at the right place at the right time. You smash everybody. You kill everybody. And that's not exactly fair or right. That's why I don't show you those games. I like to show you realistic stuff, right? What can your average player expect to do with this robot or this set of weapons? That's what I try and do. I try to make my channel educational. I try to help you guys out. My goal is to help everybody figure out what's good, what works, what doesn't work, and how to build things that will actually do good or at least decent out there on the battlefield for the people who can't always get the meta. I mean, sure, I might throw on a couple sets of meta weapons here or there or do a build on the meta robot or something, but if you notice, I like to do a lot of builds on old stuff. I like to build up the Revenants. I like to build up the Invaders, the Fenrirs, the who knows what, because that stuff to me is very fun and some of it can still be really, really good. And I want to make sure people understand that you don't have to have the best of the best. I mean, yeah, this game right here, it's not going well. So, I mean, I don't normally show you games like this either because this game, so far, this game sucks. But like I said, I mean, with a hanger like this, I would say between 7 out of the 10 games, maybe 8 out of the 10 games normally go pretty well. But out of every 10 games, I might have 2 or 3 that look like this. But the thing is, on a game like this where my team's not doing well, it probably wouldn't matter if I was running all meta. More than likely, it would have went just as bad. We would have still lost, right? We would have still got our butts kicked. I don't think we're going to make a comeback. I mean, looking at what's going on here, I don't think our team is going to win this. Oh, crap sandwiches. Out on the wing. Out on the wing we go. Well, what do we do at this point, right? We can't do much. There's no magic way to teleport over there. It'd be nice if they would make like a little springboard thing over there where you could also like hit it and bounce back onto the ship if you land out on that wing. Or it would be great if they'd make like a set of stairs or something so you could get out of there. Now, I forget what I was saying. I totally lost my train of thought, but yeah. Not all games are good games, right? I find builds that I think will do good on the majority of game. I mean, you're not good. I don't care who you are, especially when you're playing with random players. You never know if your teammates are going to be good. You never know if your teammates are going to be bad. There's always just a bunch of idiots out there who can't play. There's just people who have lower level hangers, and we end up going up against really strong guys. I mean, it takes all 6 people to do well. I mean, unless you're one of those hackers. I mean, if you're a hacker, you know, you might be able to win a game by yourself, but or even if you're like a duo, a 2-pack of players, and you guys, let's just say like you and your buddy both drop 6 raptors. Yeah, you guys might be able to dominate a group of randoms with 2 players, but 1 player by themselves, maybe not. If 2 or 3 players are working really well together and they got the best of the best, they can probably destroy a set of randoms. All right, that game ended, we lost, and that was just kind of not so good. That game was not so good. I mean, there's not much else I can say other than not so good. All right, 4.3 million damage, 2 kills. That guy's trying to invite me. Thank you, but I'm working on a video. And, yeah, whatever. I was going to say something, but I forgot again. I keep losing my train of thought. I'm glad I don't drive a train in real life because that might be bad. But let's get back to the thing with the hackers. The hackers seem to think they're doing something good. They think it's justified. Personally, I think they're just making up excuses to make it sound like they're doing something good when they really know deep down that they're not doing something that's right. So think about that. What you guys are doing are not fixing any type of problem. You're just making things worse for everybody. It's not fixing anything. It's not making things better. It's just messing up things for everyday, ordinary people who just want to come home, play a game, have fun, and relax. Yes, the pay-to-win thing, you know, these paid players are not fun to go against. But I would rather fight one of those paid players any day than somebody who is hacking, because anybody who is hacking is cheating to get an advantage over another player. You know, I'd rather play against a big spender who's got crazy stuff. At least they're not cheating. At least they're not doing something wrong. I mean, I know a lot of people think it's not right for somebody to spend all that money, but the reality of it is these games are a business. They're out to make money. They sell you things. If somebody is crazy enough to open up their wallet and drop $10,000 for a hanger, well, I don't know why they would do that. I personally wouldn't do that. I think that's completely insane, but some people do that. A lot of people do it. And if that's what they want to do, hey, that's their prerogative. I'm not going to tell people how they should or should not spend their money because, you know, that's up to them. If they got the money, if they got that much disposable income and they want to spend it on 20 Raptors, hey, cool, whatever. I'm fine with that. I don't like playing against you. It sucks, but I would much rather play against that guy than the guy who's cheating. Nobody likes a cheater. Nobody likes a sore loser. I seriously feel that the people who are cheating are people who just don't have skills. I just don't really understand the mentality of, hey, I'm going to hack the game and that's going to make things better, or that's going to change something, or, you know you're not doing something right. You know you're doing something wrong. That's the problem. You're doing wrong things. You know you're doing it. You're pretending like you're doing something good, and you know you're not. It's not fixing anything. It's not making things better. It's just robbing fun from people. It's making people have bad days. You're just hurting other people. That's all you're doing, is hurting other people and taking a good time or fun or relaxation away from them and making them angry. You're making them mad. You're making them frustrated. You're just ruining people's days. Do you want to be that guy? Do you want to be the guy that ruins somebody else's day? Think about that. Think about that. You know, there's probably some like 12-year-old kid that gets on here, grabs his account, says, hey, this is so much fun. And then you come along and he goes, Mama. He starts crying, Mama, 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 the hackers beat me up. And he's like, I'm never playing games again. And you've just scarred that little kid for life. Maybe, sort of. I don't know. But you get the idea. You probably get where I'm coming from. Doing something wrong does not make a right. There's always a saying that 2 wrongs don't make a right. Well, that's pretty much the case here, except for there's not 2 wrongs. There's 1 wrong, and that's the person hacking. You may not think it's right that people are buying things. You may not think it's right that a game is selling things, but how is a game supposed to pay their employees, pay their electric bills, keep the servers running, develop new stuff all the time? I mean, sure, War Robots isn't perfect. We love the game. I love the game, but it's not perfect. There's a lot of things I would love to see changed or done a little bit different. I would love to see some changes in the matchmaking. I would love to see an anti-cheat actually built in the game. That way, we wouldn't have to deal with this kind of crap from the hackers. It would be nice if some of the things in the game were a little bit easier to get, but there's, you know, all kinds of stuff you can get as a free-to-play player or a cheap-to-play player. As a free-to-play player, you got to have a lot of patience, like a lot. You got to have a lot of patience as a free-to-play guy. You're not going to just build a great hangar in 2 months or 3 months or 4 months. It's probably going to take you about a year to slowly build up a really nice hangar, right? And that's a hangar like I'm playing today. Now, if you want to spend a little bit of money, you can go into the daily deals. You can buy a Mark II robot with Mark II weapons for like $6 or up to $20 sometimes. I mean, you could probably build a killer hangar in this game for $50 or $100 or even up to $200, depending on what the prices are when you bought the item. But it doesn't have to cost like a huge amount of money to buy a couple of good things and get a really good old school hangar going if you're buying things out of the daily deals. When you do spend money on this game, if you're cheap to play and you buy the right things, you can make that money really count and go a long way. But if you're 100% free to play, yeah, you gotta have a lot of patience. You gotta be able to just play what you got, use what you got for now, and then, you know, replace it with better stuff as you get it. And I know that can be frustrating. I know that can take a really long time, but you can do it. I mean, the first couple of years I played this game, I never had anything past like level 10 Mark 1. Seriously, I've been playing this game for about 10 years. I got off to a really slow start. Like, I had just basic stuff. You know, I always had basic stuff that was good. You know, I never had a hard time getting decent weapons or decent robots, but it took me a while to get those. I had to have a lot of patience. I had to slowly build it, slowly acquire it, and it wasn't that bad. I just learned to play what I currently have and use that, and it was good. It was fine. There was no problems there. It was just a very long, slow road to getting up to Champion League. It took me several years to get into Champion League, to tell you the truth. Nowadays, they've made it so you can get up in there faster. I think there's a lot of players going up into Champion League who aren't quite ready for it yet. So that's one thing. I think that might be a little bit of a problem, that people are getting into Champion too fast these days. But once you get up there, if you just really do all the right things, it doesn't take that long to max out a hangar, honestly. The problem people have is they try and they get something new, they want to upgrade that. They get something new, they want to upgrade that. They get something new, they want to upgrade that. So they stop upgrading the current things to upgrade the new thing. They get it up to like level 9 or 10 Mark 1, they get something new. All right, let's start upgrading that instead. That's what I did for years. I did that. It was a mistake. I never got anything past level 9 or 10 Mark 1 because I would try and upgrade every single thing. I had all these things and all these robots and all these weapons, but I was never, once I got into the Champion League, I was not doing well because I was trying to upgrade every single thing I ever got. And that doesn't work. You're never going to be able to max out a hanger if you do that. So what I did is I put 5 robots in there. I threw in my favorite weapons, and I just focused on upgrading that. And I was amazed. Within like 3 months, 2-3 months, I had that hanger from level 10 to like Mark 2 level 6 or Mark 2 level 8, and then it was able to compete in Champion League. So once I got into Champion, I realized, hey, I can't compete here. I need to do something a little bit differently. And 2 to 3 months later, bam, I was a Champion League player, and I was able to do well and stay in Champion League because I started doing things correctly as a free-to-play player. When I first started this game, I think I dropped $50 on it. I bought a Lancelot, I bought a Galahad and a Gareth, and I think I got some Tyrants and Redeemers or something like that. I can't remember exactly what I had on them, but after that, I didn't spend a dime on this game for years and years and years and years. I was a free-to-play player or a super cheap-to-play player. I mean, like I said, this was the first game I'd ever spent money on in my life when it comes to like mobile games. I dropped $50 and, you know, that 5, 6, 7 years into this game, I did not spend another dime, right? $50 is a very small amount of money to dump into something for the amount of fun that I had. And I completely forget where I was going with this, but as somebody who was almost free to play for all those years, I was able to make it work. I just had to have a lot of patience, right? I just had to have the patience to slowly acquire the stuff, slowly build the stuff. And once I learned, hey, I need to focus on one hanger, I need to set a hanger up, I need to just max that hanger out before I change anything, that's when the game started really going well for me and I started doing better at the game. It was a long ride, but it was a fun ride and it was a good time. Now that I'm in the creators program and part of the mentors program and all that stuff, you know, I get some bells, some whistles, some perks, and that's great. Like if the new robot comes out, they do throw me a new robot. I have the Battle Wreck account that's got everything on it, so I can play that stuff and make videos and find fun builds and good builds for you guys. So that helps me make content for you guys to have that stuff, right? And I don't know. I think this video is long enough at this point, so I think we're going to go ahead and end this. But, yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't know if you guys stayed around for the whole thing. It looks like this video is going to be over 30 minutes long. Normally, I don't make videos this long, but this is a long one. This is like the Danny Lightning podcast for War Robots. Anyways, hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you click the little bell and set those notifications to all, YouTube should notify you every time I make a new video. So if you like my videos, you might want to think about doing that. Also, if you drop down the video's description or the pinned comment, you'll see some affiliate links and ways to help support the channel. I think there's also some game news and stuff like that down there in the video's description. So anyways, thanks for watching. You guys are amazing. Lightning out. Hope you liked the video, and we will catch you next time. See ya.